Melissa Hutchison, and I am a voiceover actress. And you might know me from such games as The Walking Dead, where I play Clementine. Also in Telltale's new game, The Wolf Among Us, based off the Fables comics, and I am Toad Jr. and Sleeping Beauty. And I'm also in a little tiny game, I don't know, maybe just a couple people play, it's called League of Legends, where I am the voice of Ash. And I recorded that like so long ago that it's like been a million years. Hi, I remember you. So I guess I'm just, I'm here to talk about voiceover. I guess that's why I'm here. And a little bit about the industry, and I guess mostly this is probably a good opportunity for me to not ramble on so much, but to let you guys ask questions, and I can try to give you the best answers I can as to the industry. So, is that kind of good? Does that work for everybody?
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, if anybody would like to ask a question, shoot. Shoot.
You said shoot.
Oh, no. Go for it.
So how did you actually get started in this?
So I grew up doing theater, you know, mostly musical theater. And I kind of, basically from the get-go, I think from birth, I've always had this kind of weird, like, mimicking and abilities. Yeah. Watching cartoons and doing all the voices and all my stuffed animals, my pets, everything has, my car, it's ridiculous. Everything has a voice and a personality. So I've kind of just always been a little nutty that way. Or not nutty, it's great, it worked out. But about my mid-20s, I had a friend who was doing the Sprint PCS tags, like right now get Sprint PCS, you know, those on, yeah, that thing, for like TV and radio. And she was like making money, her job's awesome, and this is where a little bit of luck came in. I went to high school with someone who is actually currently my agent in San Francisco. And I just went in to ask him, like, hey man, like, how do I get into this voiceover? Because I think I might be pretty good at it. And he started bringing me in, and I've been doing it for now, gosh, 14 years.
Wow.
So it's been, I know, I just totally aged myself. And I just turned 25. So I've been doing it a long time. Wow. But, you know, like, that was a big luck portion. Most people, if they want to get into the voiceover, yeah, I mean, and I did take some classes. I took some, like, you know, the basic, like, beginner voiceover, how to be in a booth, don't touch the mic, how to slate your name, you know, I definitely did all those things, which is imperative, kind of, to finding an agent, is to take the classes. But that's how I got my start. In my very first game, I actually was with my agency for about, almost a year, and I was just like, oh my god, I'm never gonna book a job. And then I was booked on Superman Man of Steel, made by Atari.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
I know, right? Not like, yeah, what? That's crazy. But I think it was made by Atari, but it was for like Sega. I don't know, it's one of those things. And after that, it just all started happening. So, that's how I got my start.
Woo.
Next question? Yes.
I know that as a voice actor, you have to have a bunch of different voices. How do you find those voices? Like, how do you make such unique and different voices for each character?
I kind of catalog. I do a lot of like I'm walking down the street and, I don't know, you walk past two people and then someone's like talking like this and you're like, well, that's such a weird voice. But you kind of catalog it and you'll get an audition for like a frumpy troll witch and you kind of bring that voice in and maybe she would sound like this. And you get sound like a weird Gilbert Gottfried, actually. It was very strange. I don't know what that was. So I personally do a lot of like cataloging of random people, and also tweaking other voice actors, what you hear in cartoons and whatnot. For example, the voice of Clementine, that had to be very real. It couldn't be like, I'm a cartoon girl, you know, because that would just be like, people would like try to kill her within 5 seconds. Clementine would have been there, well, how do we kill this kid? So I definitely, what was that?
The zombie skater.
Yeah. So that was definitely like, I referenced my niece and kind of went into this, like what I think maybe I would have sounded like as a little kid, even though I really don't think this is what I sounded like, even though now she actually talks a little bit more like this. So that transition had to happen as well. But getting her voice, getting her voice, like getting that voice in. It's funny too because I do a lot of boy voices usually, and sometimes the girl voices I can only do those really cartoony, or I thought. So it was really cool that I was able to somehow come up with that. But it's just a mix of listening to people and referencing. I think with her I actually also had in mind a little bit of, and Telltale would be like, no, because they didn't want this reference, but a little bit of like Newt from Aliens, and now that I've said that, it's all they're gonna hear. Anyways, so yes, I hope I answered that for you. Yes.
Voice acting sounds very strenuous. How can one minimize the strain on one's voice?
Well, there are times when I've left recording sessions, like for The Walking Dead, for example, I stupidly agreed to, they're like, hey, we just need like this woman she was like season 1, this random chick that gets bit in the street and basically is just like, you know, screaming, help me! And literally after that, I went on vacation, but my voice was like 2 octaves lower. I was like, oh my God, I just like totally screwed myself. So you have to be careful. They'll usually save a lot of the screaming bits, like dying in video games, for the end of the session. And if it's a really good director, they'll try to keep it short. But yeah, it's a bit of a muscle. So obviously I do a lot of talking in my career. So I think I have a pretty strong voice. But you know, honestly, I don't have any like remedies for keeping my voice safe, which is horrible. But what was that? Passionberry bliss, kombucha. Yeah, you just have to. A lot of voices, you can find a good medium. Like people want to like scream and use it here. When you can, there's like little tricks of breathing and using your diaphragm to switch it up into your head voice, or keep it low and guttural. Those are kind of safety zones. So there are tricks that I'm not doing a really good job explaining. I'm sure you can YouTube it. That's awful. Just ask me a question and I'll be like, yeah, just check it out on YouTube. Yeah. Oh yeah, this is YouTube link. Yeah. YouTube, Google it. Sorry. Right. Yes.
What's your favorite type of voice to do?
Gosh, I don't know if I have a favorite. I love them all. It's kind of rare for me to get a lot of like deep, like womanly evil voices. So whenever I book a job where I actually get to be like an evil woman, I'm like super thrilled because I'm, you know, it's not often that I get to play evil. So I would say I look forward to that voice the most. But obviously my favorite voice is Clementine thus far. Yeah. Anybody? Yeah.
So you said how you got into voice acting, but what about theatrical acting?
How'd I get into that?
Yeah.
I just always wanted to be an actress. Like when I was a kid, there was like a list. It was like either a jockey, a horse riding jockey, race car driver. I was like a butch kid, what can I say? Veterinarian or actress. And it just was always, I was just obsessed with acting and wanting to do it. And I did my first community theater production of A Christmas Carol when I was like, I don't know, in the 3rd grade. So after that, it was just locked in. I did most of the musical theater. After that, it was mostly just high school. And I did a bunch of community theater in San Francisco, Young People's Musical Theater Company, where I did, you know, it was singing and acting, because I also wanted to be a singer. So that's how I got my start into that. And then unfortunately, I haven't really done it since. It's kind of hard with the voiceover schedule, because I randomly have to be in LA, or I randomly have to, it's a little hard to fit in a rehearsal schedule for theater. But hopefully I'll do it again. We'll see. Yes?
Have you ever had to go to a recording session when you've been sick, or cold, or anything?
Yeah. It sucks. Sick, hungover. Yeah. Ultimately, if you're really that sick, you have to call, I mean, especially if you're congested or your throat is hoarse, if you can't do the character, like, if you're doing a character that sounds like this, you're not going to really be able to get that with that quality. But otherwise, just hot, like, giant thermos of hot tea with lemon and honey. I don't like taking the decongestants and all that stuff, but I will if I have to for that. So you just get through it, and then it sucks, but it works. Yeah. Are any of you actually interested in getting into voiceover? Oh, quite a few. Very cool. Now, have any of you taken any classes here in the Bay Area, or no? You have? Where'd you take it? You did?
I went to like voice tracks.
Okay.
Sausalito, actually. I did it for like about half a year or so.
Oh, nice. Okay. I actually never took any classes there. I did a few at Voice One in San Francisco.
Oh.
But most of the people who will be here tomorrow, actually, on the Walking Dead and League of Legends panel, all studied at voice tracks. Those people, those other actor types. Where did you?
It was a temporary class that was at my community college.
Okay.
Like they had traded out for a year, and I got to go to it, and then it was gone by the next year. We didn't have a lot of people.
That's kind of weird. I would think there'd be a lot in that.
There was a lot of theater people, but for some reason people didn't see it the same way. Like the school's it's West Valley, which is down in Saratoga. It's known for having a really good theater program, but theater programs mostly towards film and theater. When it came to voice acting, a lot of people just thought it as, I don't know, commercials and stuff. They didn't see it as entertaining, I guess.
Right.
I loved it, but
yeah, no, it's a super awesome industry just because it's kind of a beast to get into, but once you get your foot in the door, it's just one of the coolest things ever. And everybody that's in the voiceover acting industry is beyond the on-camera industry, which I'd actually like to dabble in as well, but there's a lot of camaraderie. You don't walk into a room and sizing someone up, because you don't really give a shit. You're just like, wow, it's cool to see this awesome person. Good luck to you. I hope you get the role. It's actually really, the hours are great. There's all kinds of many reasons why it's amazing. And you get to work on really awesome video games and animation, and we've been getting scripts for movies. I mean, all kinds of stuff. The industry is so huge right now. Did you have something else?
I was actually also taking a class in my community college as well too, and actually took a class with Terry McGovern. Actually,
he's great.
He's a great guy.
Yeah, Terry McGovern is my favorite because I used to be a big fan of DuckTales. Yeah, he was. Oh, why am I forgetting? He was the one that talked like he was something like that. Yeah, Launchpad. Yeah, he's great. Yeah, he's really good.
Totally opposite of his character in The Walking Dead, by the way.
Oh yeah, The Walking Dead. He was Larry, and Larry had some anger management issues. Yes, sir.
Richard Horvitz, Scott McNeil, and Crispin Freeman, taking classes under them.
Who?
Crispin Freeman.
Where is this? Where are they?
Los Angeles.
Oh, okay. Are you from LA?
I used to live down there, and then
Okay.
finances dictated otherwise.
What, you moved to the Bay Area? I couldn't afford LA, so I moved to San Francisco.
I live near Sacramento currently,
Oh, okay.
so
I got
trying to get back down, trying to get back on the horse.
Gotcha. All right. I'm going to go to the young lady in the back first.
So I actually took a class at Voice One as well.
Oh, cool.
Because the agency that I'm with made put together a class at Voice One for some of the kids at the agency that are interested in voice
Nice.
acting, put it together.
That's awesome. Who's your agency?
Marla
Okay. Yeah, I know a few people with them. Yeah, Elaine is great. Voice One is a really good school, and it's in. Just for me, it was in San Francisco, so it was really convenient. And I actually worked with Elaine Clark. She directed an anime that I did called Saikano. It's funny. I go to these like animation conventions, and I'm like, anybody, Saikano? No one. No one. You know Saikano? I was Chisei. Drop the mic. Boom.
Drop humanity. Boom.
It was so much. It was like 13 episodes. Nobody knows Saikano. She, the ultimate weapon. No? No, okay. Look it up. Yeah. Google it. But that's cool. Yeah, Voice One is really good. She's great, and she has a lot of really awesome guest teachers come in there. So stick with it. That's awesome that you have representation. That's very, very cool, because that is obviously the big step. So good luck to you. Yeah. And the gentleman in the red shirt, did you have a question?
You answered my question.
Oh. Wow. I just keep rambling. You guys are like,
Two birds, one stone.
Yes.
What was your most fun moments while recording and while not recording in the booth?
What are my most fun moments of recording in the booth?
Mm-hmm.
Some of the best moments, which is very rare in this industry, is actually getting to work with other actors in the booth. I'm on this show that will be coming out this spring called The Space Racers. That I actually got to work with like the other actors in the booth, and so we got to like bounce off of each other, which is very cool, because most everything I do, or most anything voice actors do, you record solo. So like in The Walking Dead, all the dialogue between Lee and Clementine, like he was not in the room with me, and it kind of makes it, I mean, I'm used to it, but it definitely, if he would have been standing there, it just has this special energy to it. Although the very last episode of the first season, he had already recorded his lines, so I did get to hear them, and all that horribleness that happened, I did get to at least hear what was going on. So, and out of the booth, I don't know. I like to go to Yosemite. It's really pretty. Hanging out, hiking, my dog. Hanging out with all my voiceover friends. Here in the Bay Area, it's pretty cool, just because it is a smaller group of. I mean, it's still huge, but it is a smaller group of people. So I'm actually really good friends with everybody. Yes.
Are you still local to San Francisco then, or did you have to move at all to LA to get any of your jobs?
No, I still live here. I'm like a stubborn mule. I won't do it. I am represented in LA, thankfully, and we do get quite a few auditions for things that record in LA via my agency, Stars, the agency here in San Francisco. And it's not like I dislike LA. I love LA. Anyways, it's I just love the Bay Area. I've been here since like '89. I've been here since I was in junior high. So it's close to Yosemite. I'll just mention that again. I mean, you guys are here. I don't know. It's beautiful. I love the feel of it, and I would be open to moving to LA. I go down there quite often. I've just gotten used to the drive. But if I ended up working on like an ongoing series that had to record all the time, I would probably make that transition. So, but in the meantime, I'm just commuting. It's a long commute. But you know, I don't have a day job, so I kind of look at it as like, well, I mean, it's like a 5.5. I make it in 5.5 hour drive, so that's like a day at work. So it's not, you know, but I'm up here. I'm local.
I'm currently a high school student right now, but I'm really looking to get into voice acting when I start getting older and start getting into a career. What would you recommend for me to do, like sort of like daily practice and get more into the career as I go?
Well, you know, a good thing to do for anybody who's looking into it is just rip commercial scripts off the TV. You know what I mean? Like just like literally, I'm sure you can actually print up scripts or, you know, of commercials and animated series and all kinds of things, and start kind of practicing with that. I think are you interested in like a character work, or, because there are people who just specifically want to do like commercial, so they don't ever have to get goofy. Mostly character? So yeah, I think the best way to really get started with it is just start getting goofy. And because it is a little intimidating the first time you go into a room and there's like 15 students sitting there like, you know, waiting for you to like be the you know, I don't know, 6-year-old skunk who just got drunk. I don't know, make a voice, you know what I mean? And like there's people staring at you like, what's he gonna do? How's this gonna sound? So like the best thing to do is to really just start like getting some scripts from animated series or whatever, and even like, you don't even have to specifically imitate that voice, but just like do your own interpretation, and it'll kind of get you to that space. Now, do you do that already? Do you kind of?
Kind of, like I should write my own stuff.
Oh, there you go.
Do it myself.
Well, yeah, look at that. So much. Or write your own stuff, which is 10 times better. Yeah, that'll, I think that just performing, I think one of the hardest things for people is kind of coming out of the shell, and even for myself, the first class I took, I was like, oh God, I don't even know. I had the theater experience, so I was kind of used to, you know, performing, but.
Would you say that the theater experience really helps sometimes?
Yeah, I think any acting experience, because, you know, it's kind of funny because us voice actors get a lot like, oh, you're a voice actor. Oh, do you do actually any real acting? And I'm like, I have a VGA. Anyways, it's any acting experience, of course, is gonna, you know, loosen you up and get you comfortable, because it's acting. It is acting. And if anything, you actually have to hone it in, because instead of like, you know, I'm going to the park today, like all of you can see how happy I am, but behind a microphone, you know, you have to be able to get that out just with your voice. I mean, you still have to make those expressions with your face. I mean, obviously you have to be quiet with your body movement, because they can't hear like in the microphone. So you have to like really like hone it in. So any acting experience, I would say, would be helpful. Like I don't know, take an acting class. Do you already do that?
Well, my school, which is Electrician Britain.
Oh yeah, I had friends who went there many moons ago.
We do have a theater program, but it is like into it because I'm also doing the band program there.
Okay, well that's performing.
Yeah, but maybe soon enough, like I think in the next year there is introduction to acting, which I don't know if I need any like experience in the theater programs. But you know, if I can do that,
I would go for it. Yeah, any acting experience at all is what you want to do. Yes, sir.
I have like a two-part question. So, how do you actually watch the things that you work on, or play the things that you work on?
So as far as video games, I have a confession, everybody. I don't really play video games. I do play The Walking Dead, because it's so like me kind of person friendly. It's just like it's basically like watching the animated version of The Walking Dead. And it's just it's easy. My brain doesn't take to complicated things. So I'll watch playthroughs on YouTube. But it's kind of funny because I do so much work that sometimes, like, what was it? Deadly Premonitions. I don't know if anybody knows that game. Yeah. I totally forgot that it was so long ago. I'm like, oh my God, you were Anna in Deadly Premonitions, and I was like, Deadly Premonitions. And I had to Google it. I was like, oh yeah, that game was so weird. That game was so odd, but it was so much fun. So, like animated series and things like that, I'll totally watch that. Commercials, if they come on, I'm like, that's me. So, yeah.
The other part is, do you often have issues like watching something you've done, feeling like really critical of yourself, or are you usually like,
Well, it's kind of funny because my speaking voice, like what you guys are hearing right now, if I hear it recorded, I'm like, oh God, I'm like, oh, what a dork. I sound like such a dork. And yeah, I mean, I definitely have critical moments. That's more of like interviews and stuff. I see myself in interviews and I'm like, but when I'm doing characters, generally I like the way it sounds, but I definitely have had moments of hearing it and being like, there's a lot of recording sessions you go into that you don't have the script until the moment that you're sitting there behind them. They're like, okay, here's the script. And I'm like, what's this about? You know, you have no idea. So of course there are scenes in games or things that if I would have had more time to prepare and get into the character, I think could have been done better. So yeah, I can be critical. Yeah.
I was curious, I've done a lot of like theater work, and I noticed in theater, and sometimes you can even see it in movies, that actors get typecast. Is it the same thing in voice acting? That people get stuck in certain like roles? Like for example, you said you don't get to do the like evil woman type roles, but like some people might only get those roles. Is that kind of a common thing?
Well, one big thing with voiceover is working on your range. And if you have like a good, if you can be here, or be here, then you're gonna have more to work with so that you won't get typecasted, because, you know, theoretically you should be able to bend in any direction as for being an evil or nice or goofy or, there are people in voiceover who have a specific niche because they might like actually talk like this in real life, so they may not actually be able to like, you know, do something in the lower range but no, there's not really typecasting. I've been all over the gamut. I think again, if you are going to get into voiceover, one of the best things to do though is make sure you have like as far as you can go in either direction when it comes to range. But it's not like, you know, Julia Roberts as Julia Roberts as Julia Roberts. I mean, it's just, sorry Julia Roberts, I don't know why I'm hating on her. She's cool, I don't know. But you know, it's I think it's definitely not as much as like on-camera actors have to deal with.
I figured it's because they look a certain way, so if you look like, you know, the cute little girl, you're probably going to get the cute little girl parts, but if you change your voice, it's different. But I thought, might as well ask since it's part of the...
Yeah, well that's the kind of fun thing with voiceover too, because people meet you and they're like, no, you don't look anything like your character. I don't look like Ash, come on people. Anyways, yeah, that's the awesome thing with voiceover is you don't have to be, you don't walk into a studio and they're like, no, you're no good, leave, you know, so it's really cool that we don't have to deal with that, so, yes.
Do you have a home studio for small projects, or do you always travel with the client?
I record, home studio. I have a laptop and I use a USB mic. So I'm compared to my other friends. If my other voiceover actor friends are here, like, yeah, I have a whisper booth and a mic 3000 extravaganza, whatever, you know. My setup is pretty basic, but I do record all of my auditions from home. It's pretty rare to go into the agency for that anymore. It's not, my setup personally isn't the best for booking jobs. So I usually, for bookings, I go to the studios.
So you don't work at all from the house, you go somewhere?
Yeah. I mean, I have had a couple of clients that I guess my auditions sounded good enough that they're like, yeah, but that's fine, we'll just take that. I live in the Bay Area, people. I have a tiny one bedroom, so like I don't have room for like a whisper booth or anything like that. I wish that like Gavin or Adam or those people were here, because they have those setups. I know a lot of people who have those setups, and it's really awesome because they can book work whenever, you know, and it's very helpful. As for auditioning though, for the auditioning purposes, you don't necessarily need to go out and spend, you know, $10,000 on a setup. It just needs to sound good enough and clear enough for the client to hear. But for booking work, yeah, you would definitely want to look into upgrade. But I don't personally have that. In fact, it's really stupid. For like a year, I somehow was, I'm me in technology. I probably did this mic thing without even knowing about it. I was recording only with the internal mic turned on my computer. So my auditions probably sounded like they were coming from like the 1930s. I don't know. It was like this total like, but I was still booking work, so it worked out. But I felt very stupid. Yeah. Yeah, sir.
When you hang out with your voice actor friends, do you guys help you with the character?
Yeah, I know, right? It's really entertaining. Sometimes, not so much, but you can tell that it is a voiceover crowd because every once in a while someone will bust into like a random voice. I think the best person to hang out with in that situation is Roger Jackson. I don't know if you guys know who he is. He was like the voice of the masked guy on Scream, like, hello, Sydney. That guy, he's a Bay Area actor. He was in Powerpuff Girls. He was Joe. That's how much I know. He's amazing, because that guy, he's just always on. And he makes you feel so inept. I'm like, God, how does he not, like, book even the roles that I'm up for? He's an amazing actor. So hanging out with him is very entertaining in that way. But for the most part, we're kind of, you know, we're chill. But we bust out with voices every once in a while. So, let me get you again.
How many auditions did you do, if you can count, before you got your first job?
Well, actually, it was a little slow. I had to keep like calling to check in. I'm like, hi, any auditions? I didn't have auditions in that first year like I do now. It took a while for them. I had to like book that job, and then they're like, all right. I don't know how many specific auditions, but literally I was with my agency for probably about 9 months before which is a long time. A lot of people are like, I got my first job and I signed yesterday, and I'm like, well, you know. So it just depends, but it actually took me quite a while. So it's a process. You just have to be patient, remind them that you exist, and just keep going. Yeah.
Have you ever gotten a script and then found it really difficult to get into that character's head?
Yeah, I've gotten auditions for characters that I've had to actually just like say, I'm not even going to try this, because this is just not working. There are some characters that, depends on the direction too, because usually you get the character description and then, you know, the lines, of course, but sometimes they send the description where they're like, we're looking for like the female version of Keanu Reeves, but happier, yet a little sad, and maybe dark, but light. And I'm like, oh my God, what do you want? Really? So you're like, kind of like, your brain's like, there are definitely characters that I haven't jived with that I've just had to pass on, which sounds horrible, but there are characters that I've booked that have taken a while, like taken a good couple of recording sessions before I feel like, oh, okay, yeah, we're locked in. It takes a while to get the voice. I did a lot of toys. I did a child's toy called Alfie, Alfie the robot. I don't know if you guys remember Alfie. Anyways, that's good. And that took like, I think 3 recording sessions to actually find the voice and the medium of the character, and I was losing my mind. It was pretty stressful, but a good stress, because you're always very grateful for any work you get, so.
How did you ultimately find those characters?
Well, it was kind of between me and the people from Hasbro. And they were like on the line, like, no, that's no good, and, you know, I'm like, I'm here, I can hear you, you know. That's horrible, why'd we hire her? No, just, they were arguing, should it be a robot, or should it be a boy? maybe a robot boy. So we had to come up with this total medium of a little boy that talks like this, but is also a little boy, you know. Alfie from Hasbro, go buy it at Target. You'll be irritated within 10 minutes. What was that?
What's it all about, Alfie?
Alfie, he's like it's like a little he's from like the 80s. Come on, people.
Alfie's back.
Like little Alfie,
In
yeah.
popcorn.
He used to just have like a little light thing and it's learning numbers and colors, and it's a learning tool with little cards that you, anyways. I don't want to talk about it. I'm kidding, I love Alfie. Sorry, red sweatshirt. Hey. You know, this kind of again comes with the lucky having the agent thing. You need to have demos for sure, and they need to be good, not just something you kind of throw together and, well, I hope this will do it. Like, that's another crux in the voiceover industry is taking enough classes and being comfortable enough to really produce and getting someone who does a good demo reel to do it for you. I don't really my agents do actually send them out. I've definitely gotten direct bookings from my demos. It's not super common, but it happens. So demo reels are very important. And if you don't have an agent, a demo reel would of course be the way to go. You would need that to submit. Because there are like online, I'm totally spacing on the names of them. If you don't have an agent, there's like a voiceover 123, or I don't know, there's some website where you can actually submit your demos and your bio, and people do hire off of those. But I would recommend taking the classes and, you know, Voice Tracks, Voice One, wherever, one of these reputable places. I don't know why I did that. They are reputable. You know, definitely have someone there recommend, or, yeah. I'm trying to think I can't think of anybody off my, find me and maybe I'll try to remember who does those. Yeah, of course. Do you have a?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, how was it working for Riot? Because I'm pretty sure everybody wants that.
For Riot?
Yeah.
You know, it was so quick. I think when I recorded, we actually recorded at Somatone over in Emeryville, so I didn't really meet, maybe someone from Riot was on the phone, like patched in, but I didn't actually meet anybody. No.
Horrible.
Well, no, actually, maybe I did this, and then we redid some lines. They added on some lines to the character, which is funny because I was on YouTube and someone made a comment like, because don't read comments on YouTube, people. I don't know why. I just felt like feeling really horrible, so I read a comment, but someone was just like, oh, I like the original voice better. And I was like, but wait, it's still me. She made jokes now. Anyways, but I did, when we recorded those, they were patched in, because I think they're in LA now. They used to be up here, and now they're all in LA. So, yeah. Yes.
Do you feel that voice acting for gaming has changed at all over the years, like gotten more cinematic?
Yeah, like what you just said. You answered my question. Yes, it's so. I mean, games used to just be like, you know, quick little quips and then short death, medium death, long death. You know, like just very quick. And now because they're so dialogue rich, and there's so much more like character development that it's become. Someone asked me recently, like, they're like, well, what do you think about, like, Hollywood actors getting into video games now? I'm like, well, there's kind of, like, video games are so much fun to act in now because of so much character and dialogue that, you know, I don't blame them. It's a lot of fun. Video games are in a really cool place right now for voice actors. It's a really good opportunity to, and like games like The Walking Dead, and a lot of games have become either episodic or they keep going. So it's pretty cool. We're definitely, as far as voice acting goes, this is a good time for the industry. Yes.
Have you ever had to do a role with an accent?
Yes. So accents aren't necessarily like my strength, unless it's like regional United States. I can do a pretty decent British accent, I'm not like one of those people that can just bust out like, I'll like start doing a Scottish accent and it turns into Australian. Yeah, I need, that's what I need to work on. That's like kind of where I'm at. And Telltale's actually announced that they're going to be doing Game of Thrones, so I'm like, I gotta be on that. So I'm trying to, yeah, I know. I did the same thing. I was like, yeah, Game of Thrones. So I'm trying to hone in on my accent skills. It's a very good quality to have for a voiceover actor. Yeah. Anybody else? Any more questions? Oh, yes, sorry. So now I'm going to speak with a British accent. Let's start now.
How did you get your agent? I don't know how this process goes,
So for me, since I was friends with mine in high school, it came very easily. What I would suggest is a lot of agents at these schools, like Voice Tracks and Voice One, agents guest teach the classes. They come in and usually teach at least one or two of the beginner classes. And a lot of people I know have actually been picked up that way. So the best thing to do is within your, and you don't want to like, now I'm not trying to like talk down on these schools, but they will literally like have you go and, oh, now you need to take this class, now you need to take this class, and then that's fine. But there will reach a point when you are good to stand on your own and fly, little bird. So take the classes long enough to make a really good, awesome demo, and then you can start submitting to agencies. Most agencies usually either have a submission thing on their websites, but the best way is really just trying to get one-on-one, and the guest teaching of the classes is really a good way to do that. Because they will notice you, and you know. So that's how most of my friends actually got representation, as a matter of fact, was from taking classes. Yeah.
Did you ever find like a certain like video game or like an animation and like you hear a certain voice of like somebody and then you just think to yourself, I want to work with that person in like some kind of project. Like if there's anybody in the industry that you would like.
Oh, you know, I'm really lucky. I work with a lot of those people, like Roger Jackson. Like, I've worked with him several times. I mean, that was definitely like a, oh my God, you know, like, I just worked with Yuri Lowenthal on the Space Racers. There's so many, like, awesome people that I've already gotten to work with. Trying to think. June Foray, she's like 98 years old, but she did like the voice of Rocky from Rocky and Bull. I mean, she's done so many voices, it's insane.
Wow.
If I got a chance to work with her, you know, mind blown, I'm good to go. That would be like the ultimate. So, yeah. Anybody else? Yes, ma'am. Ash from League of Legends. Swiftly now! What else does she say? I think that's it. Take a good look. It's the last you're going to get. Woo! She's kind of deep-voiced. I just realized that. Wait a minute. Yes, did somebody over? Yes.
What's the most famous person you've ever worked with?
Well, I can't, gosh. So, a little bit of a moment of I have to seal my lips because this particular person will be coming up in a particular game that I'm working on. You'll know as soon as you see. It's a Walking Dead thing, but I can't say who it is because it's not released. But actually, on the episode 1 of the second season of The Walking Dead, Scott Porter, who's on the show Friday Night Lights. I don't remember watched that. Scott Porter, he's a Hollywood actor. He plays Luke in the game. Is that the most? Who else? I did something. I've done like vicariously, but see, I don't ever get to actually work with them. You know what I mean? Like I have dialogue with them, but I haven't like actually met them.
You're working in the industry and being like an actor. Have you ever gotten to go to things that, like, what's the most extravagant event you've been invited to?
Probably, but the Spike TV VGAs was huge. I felt like the girl from Kansas. I was just like, what am I doing here? And the BAFTAs in London, because both Dave Fenoy and I were nominated for a BAFTA, which is basically like their Academy Awards. And they actually have a category for video gaming, which is awesome. Come on, United States, what are we doing?
Yeah.
So those were both extremely, like, wow, I'm just like staring at, like, you know, Jack Black, and, you know, it was a very Hollywood event, red carpet, pictures, you know. That was a very cool night. So I'd say that's probably at this point the most famous people person thing I've done. Yeah. Yes. Hi again.
I remember one audition that I had where I was in the but I was given the script right as I got there, and I had about
And you what?
7 minutes.
Yeah.
Kind of hard to memorize it, but do you have like certain things that you do?
Just, you know, honestly.
I learned an accent in 10 minutes.
Oh, yeah, time and experience. Honestly, it gets easier as it goes on. If we could get the scripts the day before, that would be just amazing. But it just doesn't work that way. So I just try to speed read. I do that when I go into a recording session. I look at the script and just start speed reading while they're talking to me, so I can kind of get the context of what's going on. And hopefully if you have a good booth director, they'll kind of give you a little bit. The accent, I don't know, man. That can be tricky. Yeah, it really just becomes, it gets easier. As random as it's, your brain actually, voice acting is good for your brain, because you really have to learn to like read quickly and take things in, and digest them, and then make it good. So, just in time. I don't know if I have any like actual tricks for that. It just started happening magically. Magic, it's magic. That's a great answer, isn't it? Yes.
How hard is it to learn like lip syncing? Or do you have to not work with that?
Oh, you mean like ADR? Like for anime and stuff like that? Well, the very first project I had was like a 13-episode Psychono, anyways. And so at first it's kind of hard because, especially with Japanese, because I don't even know if I should attempt. Like, hi, how are you? Is ha you know what I mean? And hi, how's it going? So we had to, oh, hi, how are you? You know, we had to add these, like, because there's extra lip flaps. So it they line up the scene, and then they put like a click track, and then boom, you have to go like right when it starts. So you're like reading the script, you're like looking down, looking up, looking down, looking up. So it usually takes in the beginning like several or a few takes to like get it, and then of course they have to write in, okay, we need you to like add an extra sound or you know, that's why when they're translated into, you know, United States, it always sounds very like, why are they always breathing and making those, why, you know, it's like, what are they doing? But it's because of all of the extra syllables of the language. But it wasn't, you know, again, that was a really good brain challenge. It was like kind of this like, I'm gonna get this. As soon as that beat goes off, I'm gonna knock it out of the park. So I actually really enjoy ADR. I have a good time with it. So it wasn't that difficult for me. But I know other people who hate it and don't do it. So, yeah. Four score 7 years ago. Okay. We're almost wrapped up. Is there anything anybody else wants to ask? We're all good?
Is there any TV that you watch?
Any TV? Oh God, yeah. Well, yeah, last year was a good year. Breaking Bad, of course, was like one of the best shows I've ever seen. Walking Dead, of course. Huge fan. What was that?
American Horror Story.
I did watch American Horror Story. Right now I'm sucked into Homeland. I started watching that. Oh, and Sherlock. I haven't started. Yeah, I haven't started the new season yet. And I'm like, I know. What am I doing here? I need to go watch Sherlock. I'm like such a huge fan of that show. I think that's about it. I'll check it out. I'll check it out. And yes.
Was there ever a line that you were taken aback back by that was so shocking, so over the top or whatnot?
A line? No, I'd say like the trickiest, most emotional thing that I've done in voiceover is the finale of season 1 of The Walking Dead. That was horrible. I mean, it was like actual tears and crying. I mean, it was emotionally gut-wrenching. So, what was that?
A little bit of young Clementine? Oh, okay, well, hi. This is her, and this is her voice. When she was littler, because now she's a little bit older. And she's seen, like, a lot of really serious stuff, and you know, Lee's dead, so that kind of sucks. Sorry, spoiler alert! You've seen it. Yeah, well, I guess I should, since we're, you know, I guess another panel's gonna be happening soon, so thank you guys for coming. I'm sorry, Christina B. Thank you so much, everyone. Come say hi to me. I'll be, like, in the dealer's hall from, like, 1 to, no, wait, what time is it? 1 to 3, thanks. Thanks, everyone.